The Laws of Digital Power: How Money, Media, and AI Create Modern Kings. In this video today, we will discuss the modern king of the world. And here are 9 laws to understand how to become the king in today's world. In every age, power has worn a different crown. In the past, kings ruled with swords. Then came the merchants, who ruled with gold. And today, power is digital, invisible, electric, and everywhere. This is the story of the new monarchs, the architects of algorithms, the keepers of data, the creators of code. This is the laws of digital power.
First law: attention is the new gold. This chapter explains that in every era of human history, power and wealth have depended on a key resource. In the industrial age, that resource was coal and oil, fuels that powered machines and economies. But in the digital age, the most valuable resource is not physical at all, it's human attention. Every time we look at our phones, scroll through social media, or watch online videos, our attention is being captured, measured, and sold. The content we see is carefully designed to keep us looking, clicking, and staying online for as long as possible. Companies make money not just from what we buy, but from the time we spend looking at screens. Because more time means more ads, more data, and more influence. The chapter also shows how powerful this has become. The corporations that control global attention now influence public opinion, elections, and culture more than many governments do. They don't just show us content, they shape what we believe and how we feel. The first law of digital power, therefore, is that whoever controls attention controls the world of ideas and influence. What we look at gives power to those who designed it. In other words, what you look at, they own.
Second law: code is law. This chapter explains that in the physical world, laws are created by governments and written in books. But in the digital world, the real laws are written in code, the programming that makes apps, websites, and online systems work. Every social media platform, search engine, and online store is built on algorithms that quietly decide what you see, what you can do, and what is hidden from you. These rules are not voted on or debated. They are created by coders and enforced automatically by machines. This means that people who write code and the companies they work for hold enormous power. They decide how billions of people experience the internet every day. For example, a small change in an algorithm can make one video go viral while making another disappear completely. Because these decisions shape how information spreads, understanding code isn't just a technical skill anymore. It's a kind of digital citizenship. The main idea of this law is simple. Those who write the code write the future.
Third law: platforms are thrones. In the past, great civilizations grew around rivers and ports because that's where trade and life happened. Today, the same thing happens around digital platforms like YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and others. These are the modern territories where billions of people spend time working, learning, talking, and being entertained. Platforms attract users by offering convenience, easy access, fast connections, and personalized experiences. But this convenience comes at a cost. We give up a bit of our freedom and control every time we rely on them. Our data, photos, memories, and contacts are stored inside these systems, making it difficult to leave or switch. Over time, the platform becomes like a castle, and users become its loyal subjects. The people who create and control these platforms have become the new digital kings. Their power doesn't come from bloodlines or armies, but from something called the network effect. The more people join, the stronger and more dominant the platform becomes. In short, platforms are the new thrones of the digital age, and those who own them rule vast online kingdoms.
Fourth law, data never dies. This chapter explores the idea that everything we do online leaves a permanent trace. Each search, message, photo, or purchase becomes a tiny piece of data. By itself, one piece doesn't mean much, but when combined with millions of others, it creates a detailed picture of our habits, likes, and behavior. Data is powerful because it can be copied and analyzed endlessly, but it almost never disappears. Even if you delete a file or account, copies often still exist somewhere on servers or backups. This means the digital world has a kind of memory that never fades. Companies, governments, and organizations that collect and understand this data can predict what people will want, think, or do next. The law, data never dies, reminds us that in the digital age, information is power. Whoever controls the world's data controls not just the present, but also how the past is remembered and how the future is shaped.
Fifth law, artificial intelligence is the crown. This chapter explains that artificial intelligence, AI, is not just another technological invention, it's the most powerful result of all the technologies that came before it. AI learns from the massive amounts of data we produce every day and turns that information into decisions, predictions, and actions. Unlike humans, AI doesn't get tired, forget, or need rest. It can process enormous amounts of data at incredible speed and find patterns that people could never notice. The more data AI receives, the smarter and more capable it becomes, creating a continuous cycle where learning leads to improvement and improvement leads to more influence. This makes AI a new kind of crown in the digital world, the ultimate symbol of power and control. When used responsibly, AI can help solve humanity's biggest problems, like curing diseases, improving education, and tackling climate change. But if used recklessly, it can spread misinformation, deepen unfair biases, or be used to control people. The key message of this chapter is that AI itself is neutral. It reflects the intentions of those who use it. That's why the fifth law says, the crown of digital power belongs to intelligence, artificial or otherwise.
Sixth law, media shapes reality. This chapter focuses on how digital media, including news, social networks, and online platforms, shapes the way people see the world. In the past, storytellers or historians would protect a king's reputation and tell his version of events. Today, media does the same thing, but on a much larger scale, reaching billions of people instantly. Every photo, post, or headline we see influences how we understand truth and reality. When large numbers of people read or watch the same story, that story begins to define what most people believe to be true, even if it's only partly accurate. As a result, facts and emotions often mix together, and it becomes hard to tell them apart. Those who control the media, whether through ownership, algorithms, or influence, have the ability to control the public conversation and shape people's beliefs. This is why the chapter says that modern rulers don't need to use censorship anymore. Instead, they just need to control the narrative, the way the story is told. The sixth law of digital power is control the story and you control the world.
Seventh law,
Money moves at the speed of light. In this chapter, the focus shifts to how money itself has become digital. In the past, money existed mainly as coins, paper, or physical assets, and moving it from one place to another took time. But now, thanks to digital technology, finance has become data, something that moves almost instantly across the world. Cryptocurrencies, online banking, and digital payment systems have transformed money into pure information. Today, transferring wealth can happen in milliseconds. This speed makes it easier for innovators, businesses, and investors to grow and create new opportunities. However, it also challenges traditional systems like governments and banks, which often move slower and rely on older methods. The people and organizations that can control or move money digitally have a new kind of power. They can fund change, influence markets, and respond faster than anyone else. The seventh law captures this transformation perfectly. The faster the flow of money, the greater the reach of power.
Eighth law: connection is control. This chapter explains how every phone, computer, and online system is part of one enormous interconnected digital web that covers the planet. Every time we send a message, make a call, or use the internet, we rely on invisible infrastructure, undersea cables, satellites, Wi-Fi networks, and cloud servers that connect us all. The people or companies who control these connections hold enormous power, even if we don't see it. They can decide who gets access, who is disconnected, and how information flows across the world. But connection is not only a source of control, it's also a source of human strength and progress. Through digital connections, people can organize movements, share knowledge instantly, and create together across distances that once separated nations. Connection allows ideas to travel faster than ever before. Yet, as the chapter reminds us, connection can either empower or suppress, depending on who controls it and how it is used. The eighth law teaches that to connect is to command, because connection gives power, but to share is to lead, because sharing builds trust and unity. True leadership in the digital age comes from using connection to uplift others, not to dominate them.
Ninth law: the human algorithm. This final chapter brings the whole idea of digital power back to its most important source, the human being. After all the talk of data, algorithms, and artificial intelligence, it reminds us that technology doesn't exist on its own. Every system, every code, and every decision made by a machine begins with a human intention. People design algorithms based on their goals, whether they want to help others, earn profit, or gain control. Because of this, all digital systems inherit our human qualities, both good and bad. If we create technology with kindness and fairness, it can spread those values on a large scale. But if we build it with selfishness or bias, it will amplify those flaws too. The human algorithm is the idea that our values, choices, and ethics are the true foundation of the digital world. Machines may process information, but humans decide what they learn and why. The ninth and final law reminds us that we are the ultimate programmers of the future. The power of technology is real, but the responsibility for how it is used rests with us. What we choose to teach our machines and what we choose to value will determine the kind of world we live in next.
At last, I would like to say about the new age choice. In today's world, Power is no longer held only by governments or leaders. It's spread among ordinary people through the devices we use every day. Every online action we take adds to the vast network of digital influence. However, this power comes with responsibility. We can choose to use technology to educate, connect, and improve society, or to manipulate and exploit others. The epilogue reminds us that the digital age is already here, and the real question is not who has the power, but how we choose to use it, wisely, fairly, and for the good of all.